Woo! Good morning, people. Welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz Love Talk. I'm delighted to have Karimah Mickins as my guest this morning. She is the town clerk for Hamden, the little borough next door to Greater New Haven. So it is lovely to have her on. She's coming on to specifically talk about, among other things, I guess, the need for people to serve on boards and commissions. And they in Hamden are having a board and commissions fair, not just for adults, but for youth leadership as well. I love this idea, Karimah. Tell me about how this came to be.
So good morning. Thank you for having me today. I appreciate it. Good morning to all the folks that are listening. So yes, one of the roles that I have as town clerk is to assist the mayor in identifying folks that want to join boards and commissions and helping to facilitate that onboarding process. So Hamden, we have about 34 boards and commissions.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of. And so we in 2022 we had a charter change, and part of the charter change was to include youth representation. So we now have an opportunity to have youth to sit on all our boards and commissions, to youth, and we define youth ages 15 to 18. So that
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, so we, in an effort to try to get folks on, this will be the second boards and commissions fair that we did, that we're doing. We did one last year, had really good turnout, folks showed up. And as a result, we saw like a number of commission seats be filled. So I'm hoping for it to grow even more this year. And that now that we have youth, that even makes it sweeter for me.
So now when you recruit for young people, for the youth, do you take this message to the high school and to the junior high school? I don't know. Hamden doesn't have junior high school, right?
We have Hamden Middle. Yep. So we have Hamden Middle, and we have the in the high school. So we have reached out to the superintendent. They've put it on the different platforms that they have for parents and for youth. And so yeah, so we've been getting it out. Flyers have gone out. We've been posting on social media. The intent is to really get the message out. And so we just passed the ordinance, I think it was a couple weeks ago, which gives us some framing. When in a charter, most of the time they tell you what to do, they don't tell you how to do it. So the ordinance we created pretty much gives us an outline on how we're going to do outreach, and making sure that we're reaching out to the high schools. And we did request to have parental consent, just because we want to make sure that parents know. Some of the boards and commissions, just think about, like, you have police and you have civil service, and some of them, they're big commissions. And we just want to make sure that parents are clear on what the opportunities and what the youth could come into contact with.
Mm. So 34 commissions. Do you have a list of them? I don't even
Yes,
know.
there's a
I
lot of
wonder
them.
how many New Haven has. That makes me think now, like, if Hamden's got 34.
Yes, so we know, we recognize there is there's a chance for us to, consolidate some. I think there's some overlap that exists in some of them. So I know that is something that the Legislative Council is looking at. But we range from Arts Commission all the way to Veterans Commission. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So
A
it's
to
a
V.
A to V.
I love, I didn't even think about the Veterans Commission, but yes.
Mhm,
I know you have an arts commission because you all are developing major arts. Hamden is becoming an arts destination.
mhm. Yes. So the chair of the Arts Commission is Lushonda Howard. And they partner with the arts and culture. It's a long name, and wellness and something else that the town has to put on, like, the summer series. They've recently done like the summer concert series. They've done, we had Kwanzaa, First Three Kings Day. Um, they're doing there's a host of different things they do, but really are developing the arts and expanding exposure for different cultures in Hamden. So I think they're doing an awesome job.
So doing this open house, this fair for boards and commission, are you surprised that people don't really know what boards they could be on and that, oh, I didn't know there was a commission for that or a board for that?
You know, I'm not really surprised because when I think about it, I think of conversations that I've had with people, some of my mentors and people that are just doing big things all over the place. And I was saying, like, years ago, I was like, oh, I want to get involved and, I want to be a part of things that are going on in town. And they're like, oh, well, that's not hard. All you have to do is send an email to the mayor's office and let them know that you're interested. And I'm like, really? It's like that simple? And it's like, yeah, it really is. So I was one of those people before I really got exposed to, the political pieces. I just didn't know the points of entry. And really, in order to get on a boards and commission, that's really what you do. You basically would reach out to well, it comes through my office, but if it goes past me through the mayor's office, it comes back through me. And you just need to provide a resume if you have one. If you don't, that's fine. And a letter of interest of what commission that you might be interested in. And then what we look at, there are things that we have to consider, right? So the first thing is, are you a registered voter? That's one of the requirements, with the exception of the youth representation. So
Okay.
the first thing we say, okay, are you a registered voter? The second thing is that we have to know what your party affiliation. That's like state statute, right? We have to have a balance of the commission. So the intent is
Hmm.
that you don't have one party dominating, that there's some balance. So we look at the party affiliation. And then new to Hamden is we have gone further on a couple things with our new charter, and it's looking at geographical area. So the intent, I believe, was to make sure you had district representation. So you don't have like everybody from the ninth district or everybody from the seventh district, that there is that everybody has a chance to serve. So we
Hmm.
have that. So I think with that layered into, some of the other things that we look at, it's making it a little bit more difficult because it's going to take a while, right? So that we can get a good balance. So not only do we need to make sure that we have representation or party affiliation, we have to make sure we have district representation, which means I have to get out more, right? So that's what this commission, this fair is about. Like, how can I meet myself, the legislative council, the mayor? How can we get more people in the fold and let them know about what we're doing? So this is one way. I'll be going to churches and civic, meetings and things like that to just meet people where they are, because everybody just doesn't, they don't know.
So people come to the fair
Mhm.
and each commission presents, or you have a list, or, is there a website to everybody's board and commission to tell you a little bit about who they are and what they do and when they meet and
Mhm. Yep. So all that, right? So if you come to the commission, we will have pretty much most of the chairs and commissions have agreed to be there. So I mean, if I get 20, I'm happy, right? But right, last year they showed up, so I'm hoping that's pretty much going to be the same. So we'll have a list. We have a list of all of the commissions and the vacancies list. So I track that, so I can see when people
okay.
are expiring, where there are vacancies, and so that information will be available. We'll have a bunch of tables where you'll have the hopefully the chair or someone from the commission there to ask questions, see what so you can learn more about the commission. We'll have like a QR code so that people, because we just I think it was like a couple of months ago, we launched our online application. So you can submit your boards and commissions application there. We'll also have like a fireside chat. So we'll have like some of the commissions we'll have on the stage, and they'll be able to talk and folks will be able to ask questions real time. So you'll get to self-serve and move about on your own, as well as listen to some of the commissions who've agreed to have some conversation with me about what they do and what they're looking for.
Oh, I love it. I love that you track what commissions are vacant and who's needed where and what's needed. I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense. And keep up with people's affiliation so that you can have a balanced board or a commission.
Mhm.
And I imagine some of these terms vary.
Yes. They do. So, like, for instance, you might think, like, say, fire commission. Generally, the fire commission serves the term of the mayor, right? So that's one, like, usually when the mayor comes on, they're looking to pretty much that whole commission becomes new. Police used to be the same, but we just made changes to the police commission. Now we have a requirement to have district representation. So it used to be 5 seats, now it's 9 seats. So there's a
Wow.
representative from every district. In addition to making sure the party affiliation is, in balance. And I think I use balance loosely because each commission has like a certain amount of majority, right? Majority
Mhm.
doesn't mean majority Democrats or majority Republican. It means one party can only have a certain amount of seats, and then you have to leave some for others. So yeah, I think I just got lost in whatever I was just saying, but
Oh, no, I got you, I got you. I would imagine, Karima, I mean, I know people know the police and fire. I
Mhm.
know people know that, and now the arts. What are some of the and veterans, because you mentioned veterans. What are some of the other commissions that might not
So
be sexy high profile?
yeah, so think about, like, you have Board of Ethics. That's a commission that's out there, and the intent of that commission is to make sure that, throughout town, through the commissions, through departments, that we are acting in ethical manners, right? So, they look at complaints and things like that. You have our Civil Service Commission. That's important because that's how we folks get hired in town. So they through there, you put out recs for different positions, but it has to go through civil service first in order for them to, to get hired and things. So that is an important, critical part of some of the work that we do. And actually, for civil service, we have 3 people who were just renewed, but we have 2 vacancies for alternates. That's a new requisite for the from the charter. So it used to only be 3 seats, now it's 5. So we have 2 alternates in there. Those seats are vacant. So that's a huge opportunity to be part of how we hire and who we hire in Hamden. Another one could be economic development, right? That's
Mm,
important. That's critical to, like, how the town operates and how we, and what's our vision for the next 5, 10 years. So now the thing about it is some of these are advisory and some are regulatory, right? So you may have an advisory role to the departments and some are regulatory, like planning and zoning, right? Where you have to decide, like, what do we have? That new building is a Haven Brewery that just
mhm.
went up. They had to go through planning and zoning to see if they would have enough parking, et cetera, to be able to open up their new facility. So they just did, and congratulations to them. But that, those are some of the commissions that you might not hear a lot about.
Mm. I love this. And so, so they come to this fair, and kids can come, well, not kids, but youth can come, find out information and decide whether or not they want to serve on something. Can people serve on more than one thing?
No, it's one.
Oh.
Unless it's like a temporary. So, like, we had charter or redistricting, because of census, if it has like a short term, you might be able to do two, but generally, no, we don't.
Mhm.
It's one. So you have to pick and choose which one. Now, I think it's important for me to say that when you think about boards and commissions, it is a mayoral appointment. So
Mhm.
um, at the end of the day, she gets to say of who she, she meaning Lauren Garrett, would appoint. And then what happens is from there, if she's, she looks over the information, she makes a decision, her and her team, and then if she appoints you, then it goes over to the legislative council. They have the final vote. So just so you understand what the process looks like, you would send the application, whether you go online or you email it to me, you drop it in my office, whatever mode you like. Once we receive it, I verify those things that I told you about. Then I send it over to the mayor's office for their consideration. If she decides to move forward, then it goes to the LC. The LC will review it. It goes through committee first, and then it goes for a full vote. It sounds
Mhm.
very bureaucracy, but it generally moves fast. It could take, up to 90 days, but sometimes it's shorter. But it just that's just what the process is. But we have seats. Trust me, many, many opportunities. So I would just invite any and everyone that you know that might be interested in looking for ways to get involved. It gives you an opportunity to interact with the community, to learn more about how government works, and to have a say, have a seat at the table. And so I just encourage you. I mean, I encourage everyone, to give it a try if you're interested.
And you said it was successful last year, like, people came out because they were interested and like, "Okay, let me go see what this is about."
Yes.
And I would imagine that people were still interested in figuring out how they could serve their town.
Yeah. And it because it evolves, right? So there's like you said, I think that's what we were talking about in terms of expiration. There's different terms. So it's just it's ongoing. So you get a group of people and their term expires. And then, some look to be reappointed, some do not. And one of the things that we have in Hamden, and it's new to the charter, is that you can't serve more than 12 years. And the intent is to give more people an opportunity to serve, you know, and you don't have people that are just legacy for more than 12 years.
Now, is there background checks, Karima? Like, do people have to be concerned about that? Do they have to be show, I would imagine they have to show residency, but
Right. So so the residency requirement comes into play when you are the registered voter. So what I do is I'll go into what we have like a voter registration system, and my job is to go in and look and see, confirm that you are a Hampton resident and that you are a registered voter and what your political affiliation is. But no background checks, none of that stuff. Now, if you do work, like say for instance, you have a big contract with the town of Hamden or anything like that, you have to disclose that. And there are, things that you need to sign and make sure that there's no conflict of interest. And the intent is just, to be on the up and up, and that there aren't, things that can get in that gray area. But besides that, it really that's it. No backwards.
so how often do you put out a call for board participation and commission participation? Do you do it once a year, twice a year?
All day, every day. I ha I so what happens is as people come off and on, I am always updating the vacancy list, so that's online. I post on social media, I send to the legislative council. I am always everywhere I go, I'm like, "Hey, so do you wanna be a boards and commission person?" Like, I'm always looking, because the needs, they're every day. We haven't locked it down yet, so, it's ongoing.
I mean, I saw it on social media. That's how I reached out to you. I was like, "Hey, Karima, I see that y'all are having." I've never seen this done, so I was very fascinated by it because I was like, "That looks like a good use of time to get people." Because most people, I think, or a lot of people, sort of think the way to be involved is, be elected or be on this kid's school PTA or something or other. But there's so many ways that you could serve, entry points to serve your city and your town, that I don't think everyday people don't realize.
Mhm.
And I really think, Karima, it's a good way to learn the process of what is going on in your city and town.
Absolutely. So you think about another commission is like the Natural Resources and Open Space Commission. And so they help along with energy use, to plan Earth Day, right? And so people who are, conscious about environment, care about environment, looking at, how we're doing different things in town. This is a way for you to be in company of other people who are passionate about the same things, and they have their meetings. So every year, all of the boards and commissions, it's required by state statute, but they will give you like a schedule of meetings for the year. So you are a part of that. You decide what comes on, as part of that commission. You collectively determine what goes on the agenda, what things that you want to bring to the mayor's attention, or things that you want to lift up in community. Like you really, as being a part of a boards and commission, this is some of the work that you would get to do.
Mm. And so you're out there in these Hamden streets
Yes.
talking to this as part of your duties, letting people know I've got that commission open. What do you want to do? Come invite people. That must be exciting, Kareem, because I get the sense that that's a good way to know your neighbors or to know people in town.
Yes, absolutely. One of the roles that so yes, getting out there, meeting folks, going to Quinnipiac, going, all over the place, just trying to identify boards and commissions is a great way to get to know community. I enjoy it, like, so I'm always looking for a way to get people to gather and to learn. So this is, doing something like this is just stuff that I just love to do anyway. And oh, if I can get some new boards and commissioners, it's just like it's the gravy on top. But I think what I found last year, what I heard, the feedback that I received from the chairs and the commissioners was like, "This was so great. We've never had an opportunity to be in a place where I can walk over to another commission and see how we can collaborate. Like, how can we, work together to do certain things?" And so, even not only just for new people, the existing folks felt that there was some value in coming together. And so, I think it was, it just works for everybody.
I love this idea so much. When I saw it, I was like, wow, that is so cool. Because I would there aren't any opportunities for other commissions to talk to other commissions. I mean, it's just I don't know where in the world they would be able to do that unless somebody took some leadership and said, okay, let's have a fair and let everybody come and see what's going on and if they want to join and do and work and be, in community with these folks. So I like that very much. And so adding this youth component, I love this. So y'all had charter revision, right?
Mhm.
And so it came up in charter revision. Did it come up before charter revision? I mean, and people say this all the time, Creamy. Oh, they look around like, oh, we need young people on these boards and commissions and service, but nothing ever moves the needle. But y'all are moving the needle. Talk about that.
Yes. So I'm not even gonna start naming people because I will forget. But I know that the charter commission the charter revision committee, this was really important. So it came up, like, they did a bunch of community conversations and public gatherings where folks had an opportunity to speak. It came up at a legislative council meeting. So I know one of the council folks, Sarah Gallagher, and then there was, some other people from the committee worked together. They brought this up, and I think that at first they might have only been looking at a few of the commissions, and I believe the President Baez, and I can be messing this story up completely, but I think the moral of the story is that it was really important to the leadership. So whether it was the commission, legislative council, they recognized that, we need the importance of having a youth voice, like just having them in these spaces, not after the fact, that the value that they bring. And so they wanted to really show in Hamden how important youth are to us, so much so that they're saying, "Hey, you can come on, and we want you to be a part of these conversations. We want you to have a role in what's happening on these boards and commissions." So I think it just definitely shows the commitment to that Hamden has to our youth and recognizing what they bring.
Oh, I
They're just
love it. So you have some youth servings from the last time you did this. Did some show up and say, you know what, I want to be on
No,
this?
no, we didn't have it. So like so November 2022 is when this passed, the new charter. And like, for a while you're starting to figure it out. So 2023 is when you're, trying to figure out, okay, how are we going to do it, the what. So we just passed that youth resolution. So now we have a path. So this will be the first time. So that's why I'm
Oh,
really
oh,
excited.
oh,
So yeah,
oh.
yeah, the youth will
Oh,
be
this is exciting.
yes, yes. So I'm
I think
hoping they
this is a
show up.
this is a good step for leadership, right?
Mhm. Yep, I agree. Yes.
Although well, you got to get them in the room though.
Yeah, that's the thing. And so I'm hoping for it. And if not, I think we are, because I've had people, text me, inbox me, just, wanting to get a little bit more information, telling me about other spaces that, are available that we can, activate. So I'm just like, okay, I'm here for all of it. Just give it, schedule permitting, is an election year. Not election for me, but big elections, presidential and stuff like that. But my intent is to try to get out as much. And what I do as well is I reach out to the legislative council leaders and say, hey, are there folks in your community that you know about that will be able to represent your districts? Please, if you know about, so they actively provide and recommend people as well. So I think it's a partnership. It's all of us trying to do it together.
I love it because I know there's probably youth serving organizations in Hamden, who are looking for opportunities for youth to take leadership roles, to learn about leadership, and cultivate their leadership ability. I
Mhm.
can't think of a better way than to serve at this level.
Yep. It is. It is. It is. I think so. And what we've even had conversation about is potentially could we do something from, credits, extra. So that's like the next level, like partnering with the schools to see if there's something we can do as people serve in these capacities, some incentives that we can provide. So
Mm.
we haven't had
So,
those conversations yet, but
let me before I let you go, before you go, let's spend some time talking about, is Amplify the Arts still a thing?
it is. It is. So I am in the process now of having a conversation with the barn and looking to do that again this year.
It
So
was
yes,
so much
yes,
fun,
yes,
Kareem, that's
yes.
why I asked. I was like, "Please don't take away the fun thing, because that was so much fun."
I know. So I had a grant for it the first 2 years, so I don't this year, but I believe that the money comes to where it's needed. So I'm just putting it out there. I believe that it's not going to be a problem. So we're going to push forward. Have a couple people, organizations that have agreed to sponsor. I can tell you, I was just for Amplified Art. So we closed it out. We had it was great. I had amazing artists. And so, as you're closing out the financial piece of it, I did mention to them, because we paid everyone stipends, but the artists hadn't gotten theirs yet. And so I just sent those out a couple of weeks ago. And so I was getting all kinds of emails and texts like, this was just a great show. But then to get a stipend, like, to help us, for the time that they provided to everyone, they just loved it. So we're going to continue.
And I loved it at the barn, because I'd never been to the barn. So the first time I was at the barn was, uh, to see Susan Clinner as she was leaving the space, and she had an event there. So that's the first time I was ever at the barn,
Yeah.
all this time.
Yeah.
And then the second time I was at the barn is when Amplify the Arts, and it was such a wonderful, I mean, it was quintessential New England, where New England and urban sort of converged. Right? Like, it was just that kinda cool thing. It was like urban, suburban kinda mashup of people. I loved it.
Yes, I agree. That's a good description. I agree 100%. I loved it. The music, the feeling, and that's what I got from a lot of people. It was like it just felt good. The energy was good. The artists were amazing.
Yes, they were.
People,
You had so much good art hanging up and on display. I was like, "Wow."
yeah, I love it. That's the other side that I just enjoy so much. So
Alright, so
more,
so
more,
you
more.
are so you are planning. So something
Yes.
is going to happen.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, and then even in partnership with these young artists that I met while, there, we're cooking up something too, so I'm excited that I'm looking forward to, late spring, early fall for some things from Amplified Arts. It's gonna
Okay,
be
I
good.
love it, because I just thought it was such a great opportunity to see artists that people ordinarily wouldn't see or put their hands on.
Yeah,
And I would hate to see it not,
yeah,
be part of the arts landscape, like,
yeah,
really.
yeah.
So just keep looking for some money, girl. There's money out
Okay.
there for
It
art
is, it
for the
is.
moment. There's money
Yes.
out there for the art. So,
Thank you so much, Babs. I appreciate it. Thank you, Harry. Thank you for having me and tell everybody come Saturday to the Miller Memorial Library, 2901 Dixwell Avenue for our Hamden Boards and Commissions Fair.
and what time?
12:30 to 3 p.m. And there'll be
That's
food.
oh, that's a good amount of time. And y'all have parking over there.
Yes, lots of parking. So you don't have to worry about parking too far. It's a great parking lot. So yes, come on through.
Harry's gonna put up your flyer. I just love it. I thought when I saw it, I was like, oh, I was like a Hamden Boards and Commission Fair, and then young people. I was like, wait a minute, I love this. Maybe New Haven could take its cues and do something very similar. I don't know who I would talk to. Oh, that's a Mike Smart conversation. I was
Yes.
like, you know what, Mike Smart, you cannot be outdone by Hamden.
Ah,
Although she is a Delta, so there's that part. So yeah, you can't compete, but
my
at least you
God.
could attempt it. I just love this idea. You have really given town clerk offices some real teeth, a real sense of community. Like you are out there and people know you, so it's a wonderful thing. You brought a sense of personal touch to this role, and it does not go unnoticed. So I just want to say that.
Thank you. I truly appreciate it. There's more to do, but we are going down the path. So I really appreciate the time and welcome all Hamden folks to come through and and learn more about boards and commissions. And thank you, Babs. I truly appreciate it, and Harry, and for the opportunity to be here
Oh,
today.
you're welcome, because we know Hamden people listen to us sometimes, so hopefully they're listening today.
Listen, I'll be sharing it and sharing it and sharing it. Yes, yes. Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Happy
All right.
Women's Month. Happy Sisterhood Month.
Mm.
And I'll see you out here in these streets.
Oh, we will. Okay.
We
Take
will.
care.
Thank you. All right. Okay, Harry Droz. I think that I've got some minutes to spare. But I hope you feel good. I hope you go to the doctor. I hope they give you something for your rash and it's not serious. Just a regular allergic reaction. And I will see you soon. I'm back tomorrow, Harry. I don't know. I think tomorrow's Thursday. Anru is here tomorrow, so we can get our Orishas aligned tomorrow. So it's Anru tomorrow, which we need Anru in our lives. So I'll be back tomorrow. Y'all have a good day.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Okay.